Hello there everyone, I am Mark 3 and for this video we are taking a look at Starship Corporation, a game that released from early access just last week and released in a very quiet manner actually. Most people don't seem to have noticed that it's actually been released. Bit strange that. Well, it's been in development for a while, but since it released it's only received 10 reviews, mostly negative. So I was kind of wondering why. I mean, I've had this game for quite some time. I've not touched it in a while because, slow development. But I was thinking of doing it for this week's mini-series to poke at it and see if it's actually a good game or not behind those reviews. Because a lot of the reviews seem to be focused in one particular way, which is implementation. While the few positives are uniformly, pretty much, good concepts. So, it's a bit of an unusual one, so I want to have a look at it. But if I'm going to do this with such a game, because I remember from last time I tried it, which was ages and ages ago, it was a bit clunky. And Razdul has said it's a bit clunky as well for him, because he tried it a few months ago, so he's tried it more recently than I have. I wanted to try and play through the tutorials, which is what this particular video is going to be about. This video will be me going through the tutorials and learning, quote-unquote, the game. If it works out okay, then there'll be a mini-series this week, which will cover getting started and playing it from a standpoint of knowing what you're trying to do. Since if it's a clunky interface and a bit complex, then really it's going to give a bad impression if you play it without actually knowing what you're trying to do in the first place. So, there's reasons for this thing. So this video might be by itself if it turns out I don't think I can do a good series with it, or it might be part of a mini-series set. I do not know which. But anyway, enough of that. Let's actually get into the tutorials section, shall we? So, tutorials in the bright green button. Here we go. Gameplay overview, sandbox, galaxy map, technology, ship design, and crew management. Okay, the only one that immediately stands out to me saying that I don't know what this is the galaxy map. I think I've touched the other three sections previously, but let's start anyway. Gameplay overview.
The galaxy map lets you choose from all the known systems and establish shipyards where there is an established trade route. Each shipyard grants you access to the market of a different star system, providing new job opportunities, but also costing taxes.
Okay, so, excuse me, something's in my throat. Ugh. Right, so gameplay overview seems to give you a quick rundown on each of the sections. So basically a crib notes version of the tutorials. That's what it seems to be. So next.
The market shows all available contract jobs for a star system. You can browse through the list and decide which jobs you want to research or design for next, or which ship you want to build for yourself.
Okay, so that's the basics, because one thing about Starship Corporation is you are in the business of building starships, and so you're trying to build your starships and then sell them off to people who want ships for certain tasks. Hopefully you give them a ship that can actually do the task, otherwise, it's not going to reflect too well on you. That kind of thing.
The technology interface helps you make important decisions about which branch you want to invest in next, so that you have all the facilities you need to fulfill the contracts you want.
Yeah, tech. One thing you've got to do is you've got to research for your designs. You need to have the different buildings. You start off with some basic stuff, but most of the things, including better variants, larger variants, more powerful variants, more cost-efficient variants, all sorts of jazz like that, you have to research through quite a few categories in the tech tree, actually. There's a fair few things in here, including new fuselages, which is new ship hulls as well. You're not stuck to a single ship shape. It's like you've got multiple ones you can use.
In the ship design interface, you can design the blueprint for a ship. The interface helps you keep track of the objectives the customer requires. The completed blueprint can be saved, loaded, and changed anytime later on. If the blueprint is fully functional, you can create a ship class to use it for crew management. Ship class layouts cannot be changed anymore. They're used for simulation only.
Yeah, so this is one of the meaty bits. We get our chosen hull, we design the layout using the rooms we have access to, and then we create an actual ship class which we can then simulate to see how it performs under certain circumstances and in certain situations, alarm drills and stuff like that. And that gives the ship its overall rating and performance. So it comes very much down to how well you build it, how well it's going to do, and how well it's going to cope with whatever it's expected to go up against.
The ship class can run through a series of simulated missions in crew management. Every mission produces a rating that is saved with the ship class file. SOP rating represents the standard procedure of the ship class. ERS rating tests emergency situations. And the HEP rating is for combat missions. These ratings are key to proving that your ship is fully capable of handling the dangers of space travel and good enough for the customer's requirements. You can revisit crew management at any time to try to improve the rating.
Yep, so once you've got the thing, this is what I just mentioned before I clicked the button, so I got ahead slightly. This is where it tests it out to make sure it can do all the things a ship is expected to do. And so it's normal operations if something goes wrong, and then if you've got something dangerous going on. So not all ships are going to be best in everything, just so you know. That's why it's got points rating. Like, as you can see here, alien infestation, 20 points out of 20. So this design is apparently really good against alien infestations. Whatever those are. Those weren't there last time I played this game. So there is new stuff all over the place.
Back in the market with a successfully tested ship class in your database, you can fulfill a shipbuilding contract or send one of your ships out into space to perform tasks like transportation, mining, route maintenance, or security. The better your rating is, the higher the chances that your ship will recoup its construction costs.
So you can sell them, but you can also send them out to do missions as well, if you care to. Well, I knew about the selling them part. The missions part was not in last time I played, but that ends it for the Crib Notes version. So that's gameplay overview. I don't know about you, but I feel like I can play this game perfectly now. Yes. No. No, I do not. Because, while that's given us a decent overview of all 5 sections, it's not given us any hands-on time with the actual game interface. Which is, since the main criticism is clunky implementation, the interface is going to be the key part. So, let us begin in the sandbox. New game will cause unsaved progress to be lost. Yep, that's fine. Off we go.
Welcome to Sandbox Creation. Here you can choose a few settings that will determine the universe your game will be in. If the tutorial window is in the way, you can minimize or maximize at any time by clicking on Tutorial at the right edge of the window. You can access the help file by pressing F1 at any time. Please click on Next to continue. Please click on My Company and choose a name for your company. Then, choose the name of your character and his or her gender. Click on Next Step to proceed with the Sandbox Settings menu.
Guess that'll do. CEO, I'm Matthew, I own your arms because why the hell not?
To influence the difficulty starting out, you can choose either low starting funds for a greater challenge, or a high value to have a little help at the beginning. For this tutorial, please select a sum of 500,000 millibitcoin. Click on Previous Step to go back, and click on Next Step to progress through the Sandbox Settings menu. To set your difficulty level for later stages of the game, you can select either a higher limit, allowing you more room for mistakes, or a very low limit for a greater challenge. As soon as the credit limit is reached, the game will be over. Please select the sum 60,000 millibitcoin for your first game and continue. You can set the quality level at which the missions in crew management are auto-resolved. This will influence how much of the testing you'll need to do yourself. Please set auto-resolve difficulty to Easy.
Right, sorry, I skipped through a few of those because, like, set your limit, set your money, all that stuff. So, you know, I mean, starting capital is how much you start with. Credit limit is how much you can borrow or go into debt, actually. And if you go into debt by that much, then it's game over. Auto-resolve, though, this is the testing phase, which is one of the parts of the game. So, but as you can see, you can automate it. Like, you don't have to run the test manually yourself. You can, because the AI is not perfect, and as you can see, the AI's got settings as well, so it won't do very well on hard, but it'll do most of the work by itself on easy if you don't feel like doing the actual testing. Because each ship hull you make, there's a lot of testing to be done. So this will allow you to automate it pretty much. Next step.
You can set the winning condition for this sandbox game based on your personal preferences. As soon as you reach this goal, the game is won, but you can continue playing if you want. Please select Technology Fully Unlocked.
So 3 victory conditions: accumulate 5 million, unlock all technology, or do the contract Trans-Orion Racer. So 3 different winning parts here. So okay, that's all the things set. Let us go.
Welcome to the Galaxy Map tutorial. Please use the Next button to start.
Okay, next.
The game starts by entering the first quarter of the year 3020. The quarterly report shows you the financial progress of the recent quarter. Please close the report now.
Okay.
You can zoom in or out of the galaxy map by using the mouse wheel. You can move the view by using W, A, S, D, if not set otherwise, or clicking on the arrows at the edges of the screen.
Interesting. I've never seen this part before, actually. I've got 2 ships according to this as well.
You can see all the known systems in the galaxy, and you can select them by clicking with the left mouse button to get more information. The yellow color on Mars signifies that your corporation already owns a shipyard at this location. Please select Mars now.
Oh, there's little dots moving around. There's actually ships moving around, and then I think they're leaving our sensor reach because they disappear on the way out to the next area. So, okay, next.
In the lower left corner, you can see the icon for your shipyard. It also displays the current tax rate of the system. As this can change over time and vary a lot between available systems, you always have the option to disband your shipyard by clicking on Disband and confirming the order.
Makes sense. Okay, so we can actually pull out of a system if we don't want to be there anymore. Interesting.
If a system offers new contracts, an icon is displayed next to its name. Open contracts are shown in blue. Assigned contracts are shown in yellow. Usually contracts are only available for a few quarters until they disappear.
Okay. But as you can see, this is our first look at the things actually outside of the general gameplay thing. We've got design ratings, stand operations. So these are the requirements for the ship they want and how much they're going to pay for it and the company it's for. And then you have to provide the ship which can meet or exceed these requirements. The thing is, the more you exceed it, then generally you're going to be paying more for the ship, so you'll get less from the contract. So, you know, adding all the bells and whistles, it might not be the best, because then you've got to pay for those bells and whistles out of your own pocket, basically. Okay, next.
Please select the contract named Pilot Vessel. This reveals more information about the customer's requirements, as well as the list of all your available ship classes. If ships are displayed in red, they are not fulfilling the requirements, or you do not have enough money. If they are shown in green, it's a match. Please select the pilot vessel, then Build Ship, confirming your order.
Okay. So this actually meets everything required. We've got an improved pilot vessel. Wait, is improved pilot vessel, is that one of my old ones? I forget. It'll tell us if that's actually one that we've got. Okay, build. If I build this, it'll cost me 111 millibit coins, or is it million bit coins? I'm not sure which. But okay.
The shipyard now displays that a ship is being built. The icon signifies that it will take 1 quarter until completion. Some of the bigger ships can take up to 4 quarters. Please click on End Quarter at the top of the screen to end the current turn.
Oh, turn-based. Okay, end the turn. So on the galaxy level, this thing is turn-based. It just takes a moment to think about it. 5 months, maneuverability, cost, payment, 20,000. Deliver.
As soon as the ship is completed,
Oh,
you will
this
get
time.
notified. Clicking on Delivery will enable the customer to take over the ship, and you will receive the payment. Just like before, the quarterly report displays your income and expenses. This turn, you made some significant profit. Please close the report as soon as you are ready.
By the way, significant profit seems to mean like 17,000 MB millibitcoins. Note, by the way, the contract gave us 131,500, but we had to pay 111,500 to build the ship to give to that contract. So there was that, and then the rest of it was just operational cost. So yeah, this is again harking back to what I said, which is if you add all the bells and whistles, you're going to pay for it. You've got to be a bit better at that. Please close it as soon as you're ready. And
This
next.
quarter, we will build our own ship. Select Mars again, then Build Your Own Ship, and Probe. Click on the Build Ship button in the lower right corner to start the process. Then End Quarter.
Probe. Start to build the ship, which will cost me another 112. Ooh. And then end the quarter. But no, I'm not actually doing anything for a contract though, so can I only build one thing at a time? I wonder.
This time, you can enter the ship's name and description before you launch it into space. The new vessel is displayed in the ship list in the upper left corner, as well as an icon in the vicinity of the solar system. If you lose this ship to an accident, please repeat the steps above to build a new one.
It's if you lose the ship in an accident, please repeat the steps above to build a new one. So even now we might accidentally lose our ship. My first probe. Okay, launch. Right. So okay, we didn't lose it to an accident. Okay, these icons are ships. We've got close that. We've got a couple around the place, it seems. The Mary Celeste, My First Probe, and the Andrea Grail. It seems to struggle to click ones if they are very close together. Okay, right. So I've got the thing. I've not blown it up. Into description, another awesome ship. Right. Okay.
With the ship selected from the list or the map, you'll be able to see more information about it, as well as use the option to scrap it to get back some of its original value. To send the ship, simply right-click anywhere in the map to set a waypoint. Hold the right mouse button to set a research waypoint onto the Delos settlements so that the ship can use its sensors to detect any dangers along the route.
Okay, so research, so it can use its sensors to detect danger as it goes. Alright. So that's that. So I need to actually explore that place.
If the ship is performing an action like research, roadwork, mining, or combat during flight, it travels at 60% of its maximum speed. End the current quarter to start the exploration.
Interesting. Okay, so it'll move out. If something happens, well, actually it's doing research, isn't it? So it's going to move 60% speed no matter what. Actually, if I told it to just move, it'd probably be okay. It's moving. Oh, it sensed something. I think there was something there, but it's taking its own sweet time.
Your ship will encounter multiple asteroid fields on the way to Delos. They are marked as orange circles, and they're visible when a ship is selected. Mining areas are displayed in yellow, and war zones in red.
Okay, so I'm flying straight into an asteroid field, it seems. Fine.
Successfully crossing an asteroid field requires a decent rating for the asteroid field mission, which you'll learn about in the crew management tutorial. If you end another quarter, you should run into an asteroid field. Please proceed into it.
You should run into an asteroid field. Yeah, that's one right there. Please proceed into it. Fine. End quarter. I noticed we're not actually doing any money. right now, so we're slowly bleeding money because we're not actually doing anything. I don't think we're meant to do this when we're actually playing the game. We're meant to keep on trying to earn money. Sounds like a good idea. Proceed into the asteroids. Okay.
If a system displays a contract icon, it means there are jobs available. You cannot establish a new shipyard at Delos because there is no trade route established yet, but you can build a shipyard on Acton.
Hang on.
Successfully crossing an asteroid field requires a decent rating for the asteroid field mission, which you'll learn about in the crew management tutorial. If you end another quarter, you should run into an asteroid field. Please proceed into it.
Okay, so it does that, and then it goes off on a different track. So, okay, it doesn't tell me to proceed.
If a system displays a contract icon, it means there are jobs available. You cannot establish a new shipyard at Delos because there is no trade route established yet, but you can build a shipyard on Acton.
Okay, so I can build a new shipyard over here at Acton because there is a trade route over there.
The complexity of the routes surrounding the systems represent their development level. The types of jobs you can get on different settlements depends on its location and culture, but also its current development level.
Alright, so Acton would be a really good place to have a shipyard.
If your ship is equipped with mining lasers, it can clear asteroid fields. If your ship has mining lasers and an ore mill on board, you can send it out to make a lot of money mining resources. If your ship is armed, you can send it into war zones to get rid of the hostile forces and make this part of the galaxy safer for everyone. If your ship is equipped with a hangar, it's able to board other ships for capture or rescue.
Okay, so it really does depend on what kind of things you got on your ship, what it can actually try to do. Alright.
You have an old mining vessel at your disposal, the Mary Celeste. Set a research waypoint close to its current location, and you will uncover a mining zone, yellow, in the next turn. Set a mining waypoint in the middle of it to start mining.
No, I don't want you to go there. I want to set a research point and start mining, because it's not told me to advance the turn, so I've not. So from the looks of it, it's kind of ignoring the fact that I've got this thing going into an asteroid field. So we're going to find out if that does anything or not. Okay, Mary Celeste, go ahead and research. Then it expects me to actually set a mining waypoint in the middle for it to go and start mining next turn, apparently. The tutorial is starting to feel a little bit disjointed, but it's more like it's jumping between different things without making note that it's going to leave a thing behind. Okay, so I need to get the Mary Celeste, and I'll need you to mine. Told it to start
if
mining.
You set a combat waypoint, the ship will move at only 60% of its maximum speed, but it has a higher chance of being victorious in a violent encounter along the way.
Okay.
The game can be saved and loaded by pressing Escape and entering the Sandbox or Campaign menu. Additionally, the game is automatically saved every time you press End Quarter into the file autosave.sav.
Oh, nice of it to tell us the name. Games don't usually do that, actually. Okay, so you're red because you're trying to do something, I guess. Combat automatically to 60%, so science will move at full speed, I guess.
Please select the contract Improved Pilot Vessel from the market on Mars. In the description, you can see that this ship needs to be equipped with a sickbay and a small armory, and both of these are not researched yet. Please change to the Research interface by selecting Department, then Research in the top menu.
Okay, so Improved Pilot Vessel is not one of mine. It's one of the game's because it's wanting us to do things with it now. Alright, so Department, then Research. Research. Okay, so we've got a lot of different things. As I said, there's a lot of text and things in here. So Department, then Research.
Welcome to the technology tutorial. The Advanced Pilot Vessel contract requires a small armory and a sickbay, as well as some armor for a better rating. We're going to buy and research the missing technologies now. Please use the Next button to start.
I've just realised this is not all the first tutorial. This is actually running through all the tutorials in sequence, I think. Because it's just, as it says, welcome to the technology tutorial. Okay, the game pulled a fast one on me. I'm not playing through lots of individual ones. This is actually all one big tutorial that's going on at the moment. That's slightly better. Okay.
This interface shows you all available facilities and fuselages that you can research over the course of your career. Items shown in blue are not researched yet. Items in green are. Items shown partially in yellow are currently being developed. If you click with your left mouse button on different items, you'll get more information about them.
So as you can see, it gives a bunch of different stats for it. Like an emergency bridge is apparently not worth anything for design. It also requires maintenance. Yeah, one thing's about the designs as well, by the way. You do need maintenance as you go as well. So there's that kind of thing.
The tabs at the top let you quickly jump to the categories that interest you most. Please click on the Health tab to jump to this category now.
Health? Which one's health? Oh, no, that's cooling. No, that's not health. It's a thermometer, but it's not. Storage, birthing, hull, mining. Oh, of course, it's the cross. Right there, and there's a big arrow pointing at it.
In
Right.
the subcategory Emergency, please select the room type, Sickbay. It might be necessary to minimize the tutorial window. If you immediately want access to a certain technology, you can invest into buying it right away. Click on Buy Technology in the lower right corner and confirm the order to unlock the sickbay.
Okay. So, hang on. If I was to research this thing, 26k. If I buy it, it's actually 36k. So it takes more time, but it's cheaper if I develop it in-house. But if I do it this way, I'm actually getting the plans from someone else. So I'm having to pay them for it. Sickbay, wounded crew members can be fully healed. Every additional medic present in the sickbay improves its healing efficiency. Okay, confirm that. So I have a sickbay.
Please jump to the Birthing category by selecting the tab at the top and scroll down until the Equipment category is visible. Click on Small Armory, then Buy Technology in the lower right corner and confirm the order.
I didn't know there was cyborgs in this. Wait, what am I building? Small army. Okay. So that's like, ooh, artificial humans. I don't recognize those. Small army. Okay. And it wants me to buy it again, correct? Yes, buy it. Of course we are, because we're not advancing turns, we're just learning the system. Okay. Got it. What's next?
The ship performs much better in crew management if at least parts of its hull are armored. Please jump to the Defense category.
Yeah, armor will keep the
Set a
crew
quarterly
safe.
budget of 2,000 millibitcoin for the armor category. The color of the value represents its efficiency. Higher values than 2,000 millibitcoin do not speed up research significantly.
Higher values than 2,000 do not speed up research. Ooh. Okay, so that's okay. That's good to know, actually. So the more you throw at it, the less efficient it gets. Okay.
Please click End Quarter to let the researchers do their work. Then, at the end of the turn, on Department at the top to return to the research interface, opening the Defense category again.
That was slightly awkwardly worded there. Still, I'm not finding this clunky so far. It's finding where things are, I think, is the problem, but yeah, I've not seen anything really clunky about it so far. Which is kind of weird, but there you go. Yeah, I could live with the interface as it's been presented to this point. The question is if there's going to be other parts that are I'm going to consider clunky, quite honestly. Close that. We need to go back to Department, Research, and we want Defenses. Oh wait, has it been researching both of those? Yep, end of the quarter, then go back.
You can see that the research for the basic armor single is about halfway done, and the research for the larger armor is showing some progress as well. By investing into a category over time, you can further the knowledge of many different applications at the same time. Please end this quarter again to finish the research.
Oh. So I've actually spent 2,000. I got like 2,500 roughly, since that's about halfway done on the basic armor. But I've also got some progress on basic armor as well. So it's actually very efficient to invest with quarterly budgets, apparently, rather than just buying the tech flat out. Because for 2,000, I think I've got something like nearly 5,000 millibitcoin worth of progress, it looks like, for these two things. End the quarter again to finish some research. Okay. So it's actually much more efficient if you're going to go just throwing it into the research. The game does hesitate a bit though when it's trying to end the turn. Ooh, there we go. New tech, base single armor. Single plate to fill in any gaps, reinforces the outer hull, must be placed along the hull, highlight on the green line. Has some mass, some design points. It doesn't need maintenance, it says every -1 second. But it's got a construction cost of 10 millibitcoins per thing, and it's 1.1 by 1 in size. Okay. So that's finished.
As soon as the research of a specific technology has been completed, you will get a message. Then the new technology is available for building. Please switch to ship design to continue the tutorial.
Yep, that was step 10 out of 10. So we're now onto the ship design stage. Woo! Right. Ship design.
Welcome to the ship design tutorial. Please use the next button to start.
Okay, so this is where we actually make our ships. And we add all the non-essential bells and whistles that make them super expensive, but super good. And that drives us into bankruptcy because no one wants a ship that's so supremely advanced, or something to that effect. Anyway, let's continue.
In this screen, you can determine which contract you're working on and which fuselage to use. You can either click on Load to start with a pre-existing design, or start a completely new blueprint, which we're going to do now.
Okay, so new.
You can choose the goals for this ship design by switching between Contract, Custom, and None. Please select Contract now.
Contracts.
Select Improved Pilot Vessel from the list of contracts. Below the contract list, you'll see the most important requirements of the selected contract.
So this gives us a set of stats which we want to work towards as we build the ship.
On the right half of the screen, you can select from a list of fuselages. Currently, only Little Bug has been researched, so please select it. You can see a short description and basic information about the fuselage just below.
Okay, not too bad.
Please click on Start Design in the lower right corner to enter ship design.
This is feeling smoother than the last time I tried it, actually, I think. So click, 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 off we go. I think it's more, again, learning what you're doing at this particular stage. We'll see if that continues to hold true as we go.
In the upper left area, you'll find the Mission Progress panel. Here you can monitor how good your ship is rated. You can minimize this window by clicking on one of the arrows on the right side. In the upper right corner, you can see the Objectives panel. Here you can see the construction goals and information about your current ship design. You can minimize this window with the arrow on the bottom right.
Okay. So it gives us our design goals from Mission Progress. It gives us our total stats over here. So we can look at all of the individual stats of the craft as we've got them at the moment on this side here. Both of which you can minimize to get them out of the way if you want to.
In the upper right corner of the Objectives panel, you can click on Change Contract to select a different contract. This way you can browse through all available contracts to see if their objectives are a fit for the current ship.
So we can prepare a design from multiple contracts at once, if we so choose.
At the top, you'll find the message bar. Click on the arrow at the bottom right to minimize or maximize the window. You can use this list to help you keep track of what you still need to build a fully functioning ship.
Yeah, so we've got a massive checklist. You can see, like, look at all these things it's checking for. That's one of the parts of the concept of this game. It's like really in-depth design. Not enough fuel, missing an external hatch so people can't get into it. Not enough EEVs, emergency escape vehicles. Not got a sick bay. It's not actually functional, which is a slight error. It doesn't have an armory for the requirements. It doesn't have all the requirements for the customer we've selected. It doesn't have any engines, a computer, or even a bridge, so it has pretty much nothing. Which is understandable because it's actually empty at the moment. We're going to fix that though.
At the bottom left is your ship's deck layout. You can switch between decks by clicking on the appropriate deck in the ship graphic. You can also change decks by using the page up and page down keys or the number keys 1 and 2.
Yep, so that's another thing, by the way. Ships can be multi-layer, which some games do actually shy away from, but this game does not. So we can design things with multiple layers.
At the bottom of the screen, you'll see the Build menu. Please click on the small bridge from the Core Modules panel. You can rotate the selected room by clicking the right mouse button. You can place it anywhere by clicking the left mouse button.
Okay, place it anywhere, it says. So if I put it like that, we've got a small bridge. And look, it's all updated. Not enough energy, deck's not connected, missing energy, not enough pilots. So yeah, a bunch of stuff, extra stuff appeared there.
When a room is selected, you can return to the Build menu by pressing the Space key or by clicking on the Build menu icon.
So select it and I can press space to go back. Yep. Okay, so yeah, it's actually being pretty thorough.
Click and hold the left mouse button over the built room until it attaches to your mouse cursor, then left click again to build it in a different spot.
There we go.
Delete the bridge by clicking on it with the right mouse button or hitting the delete key when the room is selected.
Right mouse is much faster. There goes the bridge. Which means we're back to our previous error status as well. 5 things wrong with it. Okay.
You can undo any deletion or creation by pressing Z.
Oh, there we go.
Please place the bridge at the marked location on deck B2 to be able to continue the tutorial. You're only able to build one bridge. Move or delete the one previously built. Change the deck by using the page up or the number 2 key.
Okay, we don't actually need all this stuff, so we'll clean that out. We don't need this right now, so we'll clean that out as well. Make the screen a bit clearer, because the tutorial is actually kind of large. So, yeah, the screen is... Sorry, the UI is actually not exactly the best. It's a bit clunky. I hate to use that word, but it's kind of true. It's definitely clunky and in your face in a lot of respects, but it's not too bad overall. However, can we minimize this? No, that just moves it. So this bar we've got to have, this we've got to have, but if we clean the tutorial out, we've actually got most of the screen to work with, if we are so inclined, because everything is just tabs out. Not too bad.
When a room is selected, you'll see all of its requirements in the bottom right corner. You'll notice that the crew count in the Objectives panel has been updated. This tells you that you now need 2 pilots to operate the bridge.
So yeah, it's very thorough.
Please build a
and
standard
keeps you up to
computer
date
map.
as you go.
You'll find it under Core Modules. It's preferable to build it close to the bridge because you'll need a pilot to maintain it. In this ship, place it at the marked location on deck B2.
Standard computer under Core Modules. Core Modules. Core Mod... Oh wait, I was in the right place. No, sub-tab, right. Computer. Place it next to the thing. So that can go to there. We now have a computer. Yay!
Please select the computer. It doesn't require someone staying in it full time for the ship to operate. This means that you can send one of the bridge crew to maintain the computer core as well.
Okay, so, yep. This is what I mentioned earlier. It's like maintenance. Everything's got to be maintained every once in a while. Okay.
Please select the Octagal engine from the Main Engine tab. You can only build an engine room next to yellow areas. Please build it at the highlighted location on deck B1. Change the deck by using the page down or number 1 key.
Okay, so this is a really big engine. I could actually fit one on deck too if the bridge wasn't there, so I could actually double engine this ship because there's a yellow part there for an exhaust section. But because of where we put the bridge, we can't because this is a tutorial. But this is something we could do if we wanted to make a faster ship based on this hull. We could move the bridge and then we could actually double engine the thing. Yeah, only build it next to yellow areas. So, gotta put it there. Dunzo.
Please switch to berthing and select Pilot Quarters Small, then place 2 units at the recommended locations on Deck B2. You'll notice that the crew count as well as the air and water supply are being updated.
So one there and one there. By the way, location, location, location. These pilots are really close to where they would work. So the pilots would have an easy time working on these, and that improves the ratings of the ship as well. So I just thought I'd quickly mention that, though the game will probably mention that as well very shortly. And I'm probably just preempting it slightly. Group counts updated. So yeah, now we've got the computer core pilots. We've got 2 out of 2 pilots, but we've got 0 out of 4 technicians to maintain the engines. So yeah, everything updates as we go.
The engine room needs to be supplied by fuel tanks. Please select the small fuel tank from the storage panel and build 2 tanks at the recommended locations on Deck B1. In the Objectives panel, you'll see the updated fuel supply for the ship.
There we go, 200 light years fuel tanks, 100 tons of fuel. Yeah, that'll go quite well it seems. Though we're still missing a few unimportant bells and whistles like energy supply, air, that kind of thing.
Please switch to berthing and select Tech Quarters Small and place 2 of them in the recommended locations. Some crew management missions require quick access of technicians to the engine room, therefore it's a benefit to place their quarters close to it.
Yeah, there's exactly what I said. Location, location, location. If they can get to where they need to go quickly, it only helps in general.
Please place another set of 2 Tech Quarters Small at the other side of the ship. You'll now have 4 technicians available when performing a mission.
Yep, so 4 technicians available for any missions this thing goes. That's also 4 out of 4 because we need 4 to man a room, I think. Let's check. Yeah, we need 4 crew to operate the engine room, so we've got that requirement.
Build a small air tank by selecting Storage and Air and place it in the marked location on Deck B2.
Yeah, so, you know, allow them to breathe. Slightly important. So that goes there. So now we've got an air supply.
As you can see from the Objectives and Message panel, the air tank is not enough to supply the current crew count for the required mission duration. Please place another tank at the indicated location.
There we go. So yeah, it was 87, now it's 167, so 6.7 months worth of air. In actually a relatively small place. These things are really dense. Wow.
The decks of the ship need to be connected. Select the stairway from the Infrastructure and Connections tab and place it at the highlighted area on Deck B1. You can choose if you want to build down from Deck B2 or up from Deck B1 by clicking on the arrows at the right side of the stairway icon in the Build menu. If a lift or a stairway cannot be built up or down because it would intersect with a room or lead into space, it's shown in red.
Okay, so I can't actually see where it wants me to go. So clicking on that was interesting, but I just wanted to go upwards, so that's there. And as you can see, it's now appeared up there as well. So that's one connection between the 2 spots on the ship.
You'll also need water tanks to supply the crew for the entire mission duration. Select the small water tank from Storage and Water and place one now on the marked location on Deck B2.
Go there. Okay. Yeah, this is... yeah, I'm not having any issues with this at all. Small water tank for storage, water, place where I wanted to, yep. It would be slightly more efficient if I moved it over by 1. But we've probably got something which is going to fit into there for the tutorial.
Now place another one at the other side of the stairway to fulfill the objectives.
Yep, that's all good.
Take a moment to maximize the message panel to see what you still need to do. As you can see, the ship is still in need of life support, water treatment, EEVs and hatches, sickbay, and armory. Fuel and range are marked red because the fuel tanks are not powered up yet. Orange messages are optional tasks.
So yeah, everything I add is adding more stuff in general, but there's still some core things we've not taken care of as well. Missing fuel because the engine doesn't have a fuel supply connected to it yet. We've not moved on to the connection stage, but you can really see the depth of the ship design. So that's one of the core tenets of the game, like really complex ship design. Always was, honestly, if I recall, even from when it first appeared as an alpha. I mean, I think it first appeared just as the ship designer, if I recall correctly.
You can find life support under Health. Construct one at the indicated location on Deck B2.
Health, life support. Okay, so that helps as well.
Water treatment can be found in the life support category. Construct the water treatment at the indicated location on Deck B2.
There we go. So what does this appear? I think it appears in here, doesn't it? Missing cooling. Rooms without access. Not enough FEs. Yeah, here we go. Water treatment required. Life support treatment required. Yeah. So okay, these are actually storages. So you have enough in reserve, but you actually need the treatment to keep things going. Okay, that makes more sense. I kind of forgot about that for a moment, that we had the treatment for a moment there. So that's what I was thinking, that's impressive capacity for those. It's not really, it's like, it's got this storage as a reserve, and then it works on it using life support and water treatment to properly process everything to make sure it's all still good. The tanks just let the thing keep going until it becomes too messed up for the ship to continue, basically. Like, the carbon filters need scrubbing out because they can no longer remove the carbon dioxide from the air. They're just too clogged up. That kind of thing.
Water treatment needs medical personnel to operate properly. The objectives panel has been updated to show the new crew requirements. Please select the berthing category and build one medic quarters small at the indicated location.
There we go. Kind of far away from there, but sure. Then again, it's actually right by the stairwell, so that would be a good spot, wouldn't it?
All rooms are still without a power supply. Please select a small nuclear generator from the Power tab and build it at the marked location on Deck B2.
Okay, let's pop that one there. We have power! Hooray! And as the crew increases, the supply of water and air drops because more people are using it, but energy 300 out of 500, that's not enough.
When a generator is selected, you can see how much power a single generator produces and how much energy is still available on this deck.
300 out of 78. Yeah, this deck's got way more power than it needs.
If a room or a power generator is selected, you can see 3 numbers in the lower right corner. By clicking on a number, you can switch the grid number of a room or generator. A generator only supplies power to rooms with the same grid number. Please leave it on grid 1.
Okay.
Please select the water treatment. The red lightning icon signifies a room without a power supply. You can see how much power is needed in the room information.
And how much is left on the deck. Oh, that's a shame. I've actually been very impressed with how well voiced the tutorial has been so far. It's like every last word has been voiced, but now we've got a little addition there which has not been voiced. Oh, that's 0 out of 10, wouldn't play. No. No, I mean, honestly, indie games like this, on this kind of scale, they normally don't have voiced tutorials at all, so the fact it's got one is definitely a plus point. It makes things a lot easier to follow as well.
The small generator is not enough to power all the rooms on this deck. Please place another one at the marked location.
There you go, another one at the marked location. Already sorted.
The lower deck needs power as well. Please place another small generator right next to the engine room.
Okay. I have noticed, by the way, when the voiceover from the tutorial takes over, it kind of cuts out all the background noise immediately and completely. It doesn't just fade it out a little bit, it just actually cuts it out, so that's okay. It's just one of the little things I've picked up on as we've been going along.
Some rooms, like the engine room and the generator rooms, need cooling. This is indicated by a red temperature icon. Please build a small cooling unit from the cooling tab at the highlighted areas on deck B1 to accommodate this. This room type can only be built adjacent to the hull.
Okay.
The cooling generator is marked with red arrows. This means that these rooms still need to be sealed by an outer hatch. Select the cooling hatch from the Infrastructure/Hatches tab and build it next to the cooling generator at the marked location.
Cooling hatch. An opening through the hull for the small and medium cooling unit. Must place that on the hull. So anywhere on the outer layer. And this allows the cooling to vent its output into space. So there we go. So I've got a cooling hatch installed. However, we've not got cooling where we need it because, again, we've still not got links set up on all this stuff.
Please select the engine room. You can see how much cooling is needed at the right side of the room information panel.
Yep, 100 cooling outputs. That's okay.
The engine room requires all the cooling the small cooling unit provides. To be able to cool the power generator as well, please place another cooling unit at the indicated spot.
Okay, and that will need another hatch, won't it?
Place a cooling hatch to seal the newly built cooling unit.
Hatches, cooling units.
Life support, computer, and generators on deck B2 still need cooling. Please place a cooling unit at the marked location and seal it with a cooling hatch.
Yep, so this design has a total of 3 cooling units. Okay, I need to put the generator down first. So, put the cooler there. Then the hatch, which will go to there. Oh no, that's the wrong kind of hatch. Whoops. Wow, I've been doing pretty well, but then I think that's my first slip up, really. Whoopsie daisy.
Open the Health and Emergency category. Select and place the sickbay at the recommended location on deck B1.
So yeah, you can see it's actually slowly but surely using up all of the space, can't you? No, that's a life support module. What am I doing? Emergency. Sick bay. There we go. Okay.
Press F or open the File drop-down menu to save the current blueprint. Enter a name you like and hit Save.
Okay, so this is the tutorial vessel, because why not? Just make sure I've got it saved as it recommends, because we're almost there. We're at step 50 out of 60. I mean, 60 steps when the last one for science and tech was 10 steps. So it's really being careful to hold your hand and walk you through every last thing you need to do in this.
Select the small armory from berthing and equipment and place it at the marked location on deck B2.
Berthing and equipment, armory. So, okay, yep, we give the people on the ship guns. Sure, put that there.
Now you need to connect all the rooms on the ship so the crew can move around and access them.
Yeah, there we go.
First, select a hatch from Infrastructure and Hatches and build 2 hatches on the highlighted locations on deck B2. Now select a Corridor 1 segment from Infrastructure and Corridors and place it between the hatches.
Corridor 1. There we go, so that's now connected.
You can connect distances of 2 grid tiles more effectively by using the large hatch. Select it from Infrastructure and Hatches and place it between the stairway and the armory. You might need to rotate the hatch to fit. Large hatches can only be attached to rooms or corridors in one direction.
Wait, what? No, that was actually correct. There we go. Right. I was just confused because it still has the red on it, but it does dim down if it's okay. It's just the armory needs some other things, so that's why it's still got the red on it. Next.
Please place enough hatches to connect every room on the ship. You can keep track of which rooms are still not connected by watching out for the bright red borders.
Yep, exactly. Okay. We also kind of want one thing here I should mention is every hatch costs 10 millibit coins to build. So ideally we want to use as few hatches as possible. Adding more will allow people to get around the ship better. But then the question is, will it be efficient or will it Yeah, what's efficient and what is just excess, really. Like, I'm doing it this way, so we've got a central passage through here, and they can just turn and get into these three as well. These need 2 doors no matter what. The medic and cooling can't actually attach this bit because of how it's shaped, so they'll have to come in from the stairwell. Like that. So as you can see, we're starting to kind of, now that we're on this particular stage with connections starting to come into place, we're just starting to thread the entire ship together, basically. There we go. But notice, by the way, there's no power on this deck. It's probably going to get us to address that really soon.
Take a quick look at the messages bar up top. You can now see that the ship needs an exit hatch. The crew has to be able to enter or leave the ship somewhere. It can be placed anywhere along the hull, preferably at the marked location next to the engine room on deck B1.
There we go, there's your entry and exit point. Sorted.
The small power generator does not produce enough power to supply all rooms and hatches on deck B1. Please place another small nuclear generator at the marked location next to the engine room. Also, create a hatch to connect the generator with the engine room.
Yeah, it's coming together. Our baby is coming together. Let's just put that there like that. Okay.
In case of an emergency where the crew has to abandon the ship, there needs to be enough emergency escape vehicles for the entire crew. Select Health, then Emergency, and place 2 EEVs at the marked locations on deck B1 and connect them with hatches. EEVs run on battery and do not require power.
Well, it wouldn't be a very useful emergency evacuation vehicle if, you know, as soon as the power goes out, you can't use them, would it? Let's be honest there. So,
The blueprint is now ready for simulation. All requirements are fulfilled and the ship is fully functional. You can create a ship class by clicking on Prepare for Simulation in the File drop-down menu. After a new window checks the integrity of your design, you can save the blueprint as a ship class by clicking on Save Ship Class.
Okay, so we've actually got a simulation blueprint. What was it, F? Yeah, what was F to save? So, we've got... Basically, we've got power linked everywhere. Through that, we... Oh, wait a second. Oh, I am most disappointed. It used to be that power, you had to lay the power cables. So you would actually switch into another view, and it would like you choose the power cables and lay all the cables through. But it looks like in the final release version they actually took that out, because as long as it's all connected to the stuff, it seems to automatically power. So we don't have to lay the power cables, we don't have to lay cooling cables, we don't have to lay fuel links. So there's a lot of behind-the-scenes cable work which seems to have been taken out. It's a shame, really. I mean, you could really monkey around if you did it with that part as well, but I can understand why they took it out, I guess. So much, one little feature, but it added something to it, I think. Rather than like automatically shares around all the stuff you've got. You had to create the routes to do the sharing as well. Okay. Integrity check offline. Well, that doesn't seem too good. Integrity check offline. Is that because we've got no armor? Might be. But okay, so we don't have to monkey around with that, I suppose. That does speed things up, so... Testing crew management, step 60 complete. Yep, we don't have to lay cables. Oh. I do regret the choice to take that out, quite honestly. I wouldn't be reacting this way if I didn't.
Welcome to the basic crew management tutorial. If the tutorial window is in the way, we can minimize or maximize it anytime by clicking on Tutorial at the right edge of the window. Please click Next to continue.
I think we've got louder music going on right now, actually. Hang on. Sounds.
Tutorial. Tutorial.
Yeah, just boosted the tutorial slightly. Okay. Welcome to that.
Thank you for using the basic design. Welcome to the basic crew management tutorial. If the tutorial window is in the way, you can minimize or maximize it anytime by clicking on Tutorial at the right edge of the window. Please click Next to continue. First, you will learn how to test your ship and crew in the standard operation mission, learning basic interface functionality, and familiarizing yourself with unit commands. If you started this tutorial out of context and there is no ship name displayed next to ship class, you will first need to load Improved Pilot Vessel class using the File menu at the top left corner.
Okay, so yeah, we're on to the next tutorial. We're almost through all these.
On the left side of the screen, you can see a list of missions your ship can perform in. SOP missions test the standard operation of the ship, ERS missions simulate different kinds of emergencies, and HEP missions test encounters with hostile forces. Please select the standard operation mission. On the upper right side of the screen, you can set the number of crew members you want the ship to have. Reducing the crew can give you additional points as it saves money. This tutorial needs all crew members available, so please leave it as is.
Oh, so you can actually reduce the number of crew you've got on. Okay.
The objectives show you what the mission will be about. Most missions have a time limit that you'll need to keep in mind.
Operate the ship for 10 minutes. Core modules need to be running. Time frame 10 minutes. So basically just prove the ship can operate without blowing up. So, you know.
In the lower right, you can see an overview of the points you'll get for each mission.
Damage. Oh look, we lose points if we manage to set the ship on fire and then fail to put the fire out. Good to know that, really. Okay, sure.
Please start the mission now by clicking on the button in the lower right corner.
Yeah, so it actually has us play through one of these, because it needs to teach us how, after all. But we can auto-resolve these. That's why there was a setting in the setup.
The information panel in the upper left corner shows you how far mission time has progressed, how good your rating is so far, and why.
Okay, so that's all of that.
In the top right corner, you're getting information about the name of your current mission, mission time, damage to the ship, the surplus energy available, and the available air and water supply. Below that, you can see how many rooms are in operation, how many are damaged or destroyed. You can also see how many crew members are healthy, injured, or dead.
I guess dead crewmates is not going to be too good for the mission rating, is it?
At the beginning, the mission is not yet started, but you can still look at all the decks and make plans ahead. Please start the mission now.
Okay, press next, start it.
You can pause the mission at any time by pressing P. It's also possible to speed up or slow down simulation speed by clicking plus or minus in the upper right corner or using the F10 or F11 keys. Please pause the game now.
Okay, I already paused it because I'm still learning what to do. Press next.
Please select the small bridge on deck B2. The room's information panel at the bottom shows information about the crew type and number needed for operation and when the next maintenance is due. This bridge needs a permanent crew of 2 pilots. The green icon above the room warns you that this room is currently losing efficiency. Rooms have to be checked regularly or manned permanently to avoid malfunctions. A green icon shows you that pilots are needed, a blue icon needs technicians, white is for medics, and red is for soldiers. Please select the life support. For this room to stay 100% efficient, 1 technician needs to be present every 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yep, so extra stuff needs routine and maintenance.
You can select single crew members by left-clicking on their flag and adding additional units by holding Shift while clicking. You can also hold and drag the left mouse button to select multiple units, or double-click on a unit to select all crew members with the same profession. Please select all units on this deck.
So these are my 2 pilots. This is my medic. They've also got individual stat bars I see down here as well.
For many missions, it's best to equip crew members with suits to be able to survive longer. However, they move much slower when equipped with suits. With all units selected, click and hold the right mouse button and use the action menu to select Put on Suit. Please repeat this process for all other units on the ship. Unpause the game to let them put on their suits.
Everyone suit up. In this ship, you must always wear suits. Yes, put your suits on. Notice, by the way, they've got progress bars, so they're all getting their suits on. Right, sorted.
You give move orders by clicking with the right mouse button. Morale has a big influence on movement speed. Also, units will move fastest in corridors and slowest in rooms that are damaged or without power. Please select the pilots and send them to the bridge, then pause the game again.
Objective complete. I got it.
Okay, so we've got 2 people on the bridge. That should now be operating. Yep, efficiency fully up. Okay, that's fine.
The bridge and the computer room both need to be maintained by pilots. Please create a route for one of the pilots between these 2 rooms by holding Control and clicking the right mouse button. You can add waypoints later. Move them by clicking and dragging with the left mouse button, delete or change them by clicking and holding the right mouse button on a waypoint.
Add it by clicking on... what? That doesn't seem to be doing much of anything. Hang on. Is it because I'm paused? Oh, it's because I didn't actually have the pilot selected. Whoops. There we go. So that should allow it to go there as well. So it's control right click.
When creating the waypoint for the bridge, or after it has been created, click and hold the right mouse button on the waypoint to make use of the action menu and place a wait waypoint. You can set a time of about 10 seconds by moving the mouse up or down. The further you move it away, the higher or lower the time. The bridge needs to regain efficiency after the pilot has been away for a while.
Okay, so I just move it up, so he'll go to the computer core, he'll maintain it, and then he will come back to the bridge and wait a while there, so he'll keep on working there to allow the bridge to keep operating at good efficiency. Okay, so we can dictate him time that he'll stay in his certain locations.
Please select 3 of the technicians and create a group by pressing Control and any number key between 1 and 9. Groups can be removed by pressing Control and 0. Grouped crew members will wait for each other at waypoints. Select a group by pressing Shift and a number key.
Okay, so we got a control group now. We got 3 technicians. Why do we need this control group?
Mechanical malfunctions occur when the room is low on efficiency. They slowly damage and destroy the room over time if not removed. Send a technician close to the malfunction in one of the fuel tanks to repair it.
I'll send the one that's not actually set, so 6, you can go there.
You can look up any computer message by opening the message log at the top. You can also switch to the relevant deck by clicking on each message.
Okay, so that'll let me go straight to it.
Electrical malfunctions occur when the room is low on efficiency. They'll disconnect a power line if not removed quickly. Send a technician close to the malfunction in the sickbay to deal with it.
There's no one close because it's paused, darn it. Yeah, you 2 just go and deal with those.
Fires break out when rooms are not cooled properly. For training, a fire has been started in one of the fuel tanks. You can extinguish it by standing close to it, but the unit will take damage from the heat and smoke. Suits are helpful to avoid injury. The best units to combat fire are military units, but you can use all professions.
Okay, so military is slightly better apparently.
If his condition is below 50%, he'll slowly bleed to death. You either need to get him into sickbay or use the medic's healing ability to stabilize him at 50%. Move the medic right next to the technician to stabilize him. A white arrow above the medic shows that he's currently healing a crew member.
Am I supposed to still be paused? I find this is a valid question. I guess I'm not meant to be paused. Hang on, where's my medic?
Working on it.
Because it's giving me all these different things happening, but...
Eyes to theirs. In position.
Stand by.
Go, 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 move it!
Go, 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 move it! Sorry, I found that slightly
Standing
worse.
by.
Ready.
Okay, good. So we're stabilizing the person. Yep, healing the technician. Alright.
When a room is damaged over 50%, it shuts down. The power button flickers and cannot be activated as long as the room is not repaired. Just send some technicians into the sick bay to repair it and bring it back online. A green arrow above the technician shows that he's currently repairing a room.
Hold on, yeah.
This is going really well, actually. Oh yeah, well, there, medic. Yep. Medic, you move over there as well, because I'm sending the injured guy over that way too.
You can turn on or off any room by using its power button at the bottom right. In the standard operation mission, all core modules, bridge, computer, life support, and engine room need to be running permanently.
Okay, so I'm meant to actually have this stuff running. Right.
Get out of here. Stand by.
In position.
Is that room fixed yet? No. Really? Oh, I need to turn it back on. There we go. I'm slightly confused now. The tutorial is not as good in this part, I think.
Hatches can be locked and unlocked by clicking and holding the left mouse button when over a hatch. Holding a bit longer and moving the mouse up or down opens a menu where you can lock or unlock all hatches at once.
Okay, so that's unlocked that. Right. So I can manually tell my hatches to close.
Using technicians or soldiers, hatches can also be welded shut or cut open. Click and hold the right mouse button when over a hatch to use the action menu for it. Please remove all personnel from any water tank before continuing to the next step.
Okay, so it wasn't meant to be paused. Thank you for that. I wish you'd told me a bit sooner, but I must have missed it. Okay, are you guys all okay now? Yep, you're all okay. Good. Move people from any water tank before continuing.
Moving out.
No, technician, go there. Medic. Medic! You stay in the stairs, actually.
Stand by.
Acknowledge.
Okay, from any water tank. Where's the water tanks? Are they back here? Air tanks. No, here they are, water tanks. Okay, so something's going to happen to the water tanks now. But, by the way, that's interesting though. Seal it. So you can seal and break open sealed doors. And I think that's to do with some of the hostile stuff. Like, I think you can get boarded and things like that. Maybe the alien infestation as well. Not too sure.
Lowers air pressure in all rooms that are not sealed off, displayed in yellow. It'll drain your air supply, but it also takes oxygen away from any ongoing fires. Close all the hatches to the affected room and turn off its power. You can see that this will stop the air loss. To repair the hull breach, send one of your technicians to the breach. Be careful, though, not to send him too close as long as there's air flowing, or he'll get sucked out into space.
Let's get out of here.
Okay, so that I need to turn that off as well. To repair a hull breach, send one of your technicians to the breach. Be careful not to send him too close as long as there's air flowing, or be sucked out into space. Right. Okay. Let's get the other technician. Number 6. You are now group 2. Let's call you up here to do something about the breach. There's some kind of radius around that breach, actually. Okay, so yeah, this is definitely one of the worst parts of this.
No way, sir. No way, sir.
Oh, it's because I've got the thing sealed. Hang on. Let me unseal the door for you.
Get out of here. Acknowledge, sir.
You're fine. You're fine. You okay? The hell? Well, goodbye, number 6. We rewind and place in the crew quarters.
Changing position.
So it expects you to mess up and lose people. Right. Okay. Okay. Number 6. Since you've mysteriously turned up again, right?
Go,
Let's
go, go, move it.
come on. Close all hatches to the effective room. Turn off its power. Did that. Send one of your technicians to the breach. Be careful not to send him too close. I just sent him into the same room and he got sucked straight out.
Ready. Changing position. Changing position. Let's get out of here.
Oh, it's because... Oh. Hang on. I need to power you down, don't I? There we go, that stops it. Okay, so it's because he wandered in while air was rushing past him because I hadn't powered down the stairwell and the hatch. Apparently.
Mission accomplished, sir.
So are you working then? What are you doing?
No way, sir. Let's get out of here. Stand by. Move out.
Oh, so it has to be within that, but while there's air flowing, don't do it, basically. Okay. So that's sealed. I think. Go away, Windows Defender. Right. So,
Working on it.
actually I'll turn everything back on.
Let's get out of here. Alright, sir. Alright, sir.
Open all hatches
Go, go,
again.
go. Move it.
Sorted. Okay. It took one death, but I managed to fix that.
Check for all the rooms that need maintenance by technicians, and then create a route with your 3-man group to cover all of them before returning to the engine room. For the waypoint at the engine room, use the action wait to let them remain there for at least 10 seconds so that the efficiency can get back up before they leave again for another patrol.
So, what rooms need technicians?
Awaiting
Find all
further
rooms that need technicians and send them out to technicians. Okay, is that you require a medic. Medic, go there.
Move out.
You guys require it.
Waiting for your command.
You guys do. You guys do. Wait, so these guys require maintenance as well. Every room, basically. No, these guys are pilots. Crew technicians, maintenance.
Go.
Hang on, have I missed a step here? Because that says it requires a pilot for maintenance as well.
Let's get out of here. Eyes and ears.
Okay, so that'll help with that. Medics, no, that's crew quarters. Technician. Do crew quarters require maintenance? Yes, they do.
Alright, sir.
I noticed I've not actually assigned my medic to deal with the life support system. Might be a slight issue. So let's actually do that now. 10 seconds on you.
Go, go, go. Move it.
Then you'll also have that as well.
Move out.
So they'll go and check that every once in a while. Yeah, that requires technicians. Yeah, so it was meant to be running earlier, because if it was, then all of this stuff would have actually timed out by now, and I'd be able to see, hey, idiot, you're meant to be maintaining this stuff. But I wasn't, so... Okay, here goes number 2. Let's see if this resets the maintenance time on that.
Roger that.
There goes number 7. Yep, pilot does do maintenance. Okay, so it is what it says.
Not a problem, sir.
Okay, group 1. Yeah, group 1, I need you guys to do a massive maintenance route.
Go.
Control. Add 10 seconds. Yep.
Move it.
Followed by... Yeah, these places do require maintenance. Okay. So I have to set all this up manually. This is part of the reason why there's a flipping auto-resolve on all this stuff. It's like, ugh. Okay, so get doing your maintenance tour, get the rest of the ship fixed up. This is probably why we're sending 3 around. There we go, that should cover everywhere, I think. Where have they got to? They seem to be stopping. Oh no, they're stopping. They were stopping because they were doing maintenance. Never mind. So normally they wouldn't take very long. It's just they've got to go around and get things sorted out first. Wait a second. All these rooms are saying maintenance required 1 technician. So why am I sending group 1 with all 3 technicians?
Commencing patrol now, sir.
Game, why did you tell me to do that? Send a 3-man group to cover all of them. Yeah, so it tells me to send all 3 when only 1 is required to do the maintenance work. I'm confused. I am definitely confused. Especially since it takes away from the engine efficiency. Because we've only got 1 person in there working on that.
If you send one of your crew members away on some errand, the rest of the group will wait for him at the next waypoint. If the crew member has completed his temporary task, select Return to Patrol from the action menu.
Okay, so there is actually an action menu button which says return to your previous patrol. Okay, so you can pull people off and send them back. That is also a good addition. Lots of games don't actually do stuff like that.
All penalties and mission time have been reset. After you manage to run the ship for 10 minutes without any of the core modules failing, bridge, computer, engine room, water treatment, and life support, this mission will be completed. If you want to skip ahead to the end, click Next.
You can go to double time, which will still be 5 minutes, so... But I do want to skip because this is like a management of the crew in your ship design. You've just got to try and keep going. Basic operations is not very interesting to look at. I mean, it was complex to get it set up. Well, confusing to get it set up, rather. But this is just day-to-day operations, so it's not that the most interesting to look at, I think. Okay, press Next.
Please save the rating for this mission to the ship class file. The on or off status of each room will be saved, as well as the position and equipment of each crew member. If you'd like to do better, you can hit Retry. Select Menu to return to Mission Selection now.
Save the rating for the mission to the ship class file. So that means apply. Oh yeah, apply the rating. Mission saved. Click Retry menu to return to Mission Select. I really don't think I want to do this side of it, at least not this routine mission. But this is why we've got easy mode set for auto-resolving. But okay, I don't want to try to do better because I absolutely sucked and I got 1 person fenced out into space because I'm so good at this. Return to mission select, yes. Oh man. Normal daily operation and I managed to vent someone out the side of the ship.
The rating for the last mission has been added to the list, as well as included in the overall rating of this ship class. The number of crew members that have been used for the standard operation mission is fixed now. You cannot change it for other missions. To speed up the rating process, you can always choose to auto-resolve single missions, mission groups, or all missions at once. Please select the mission Red Alert, then click on Auto-Resolve Mission in the lower right corner.
Yeah, that's 10 minutes because it's like a long period one. The others have different objectives, but that is actually one of the slow ones as well. But it's good for teaching you how to do it, or in my case, how not to do it. Still, last time it did it 3 out of 5. Well, only worth 7 points out of 20, but auto-resolve this. So it goes and works it out. Red Alert, 7 points out of 10. That's actually pretty good. So 7 out of 10. What happens if I auto-resolve standard operation? I've no doubt the AI will do better than me. We'll reset. Yep. Go on. What will the AI do? Is the AI better? 20. Yep, the AI aced standard operations. I was a complete dumbass and failed it, basically. Though actually doing that reset everything, so I need to auto-resolve red alert again. Still, it got 20 out of 20 on the first thing, and it's already 20 out of 15 for the required thing, so... The AI is so much better than me at this in easy, so yeah, I think I prefer to do it this way rather than muck around in there. I know basically I'm skipping a part of the game, but it's a part of the game that I'm not really looking at, really wanting to do too much, I don't think.
If the result of the mission is lower than the value you have already achieved by playing the mission yourself, you can click on Cancel and the ratings stay the same. If you like the new value and want to keep it, you can click Apply Mission Results.
Okay, next.
To quickly take a look at the ship's possible performance, you can use the Auto Resolve All function. Click on it to see how the ship is doing in all missions. Please apply the new values. If you want to skip the rest of the missions and move on to selling this ship right away, please click on Skip. Otherwise, Next.
Auto-resolve everything. What can you do? Really good at basic stuff, except for mining. It can't mine. Doesn't deal well with a major collision. Shocker. Really good at firestorm. And against alien infestation as well, apparently, too. And magnetic storms. That's actually really good as if it comes, well, unless it comes to things like ship endurance, like it's got no durability, and combat, it's usually not going. Computer revolt. It's actually pretty good against the computer revolt. And minefields, apparently, as well. Probably because it's a small ship and pretty fast. Okay, apply. Wow. But yeah, I'm just not very good at managing all this. It just doesn't have much which you can use in terms of combat missions. It's not armed. So what's next?
Please select Red Alert to start the mission. Select OK to remove all...
Oh,
to quickly
no.
take a look at the ship. To successfully complete this mission, all units need to get ammunition from the armory. If the ship is not equipped with an armory, the mission can be completed but will only get a rating of 1 point. The position, spacesuit, and ammunition status will first select all units. To quickly take a look at the ship's possible performance, you can use the Auto Resolve All function. Click on it to see how the ship is doing in all missions. Please apply the new values.
So that would be
the rest of the missions and move on to selling the ship right away.
I want to skip.
Please click on Skip.
I want to skip.
Otherwise, Next.
Right, so it would go on to teach us about the combat side of it. I'm not really interested in that though. It's not super interested because I don't really want to do anything with that. The simulations to work out the things. I might poke at it some other time, but I don't think I want to do it now at all. So I'll skip. Skip to the end, yes.
Take a look at the overall rating of the ship class. SOP should be equal to or more than the required 15. ERS should be at least 30. Your ship gets bombarded by an enemy missile cruiser. Try to take a look at the overall rating of the ship class. SOP should be equal to or more than the required 15.
Yeah, that's all great.
ERS should expand the improved pilot vessel again. The matching ship classes for this contract. Take a look at the overall rating of the ship class.
Please switch back to the gun.
SOP should be equal to or more than the required 15. ERS should be at least 30. And HEP should be more than 5 to fulfill the contract. Please switch back. Expand the improved pilot vessel again. The matching ship classes for this contract appear in the lower half of the screen. It should be the provided improved pilot vessel and the ship you have created in this tutorial.
Improved pilot vessel. That's the tutorial vessel right there, and it's pretty potent, though of course it's also got improved pilot vessel which matches all the stats as well. So there we go. And yeah, so improved pilot vessel and the ship I created in the tutorial.
Click on Build Ship in the lower right corner and confirm the order.
So
After pressing End Quarter, you have finally finished this contract and received the payment.
Yes, build one of the improved pilot vessels. I doubt the client would be thrilled to receive a ship that's called Tutorial Vessel, would they? The name is kind of telling. Okay, so end it, get the payment. So all of that, we've designed and built a ship. Admittedly, we followed the tutorial, and we made a design it already had. But in the future, we would be working on that to fulfill different requirements, and we'd have different techs and things available as well. Industrial field? No, keep on going. Okay, it costs 114 to get out, so we get 20,000 in terms of payment. It's really good. It's actually much better in terms of most of its stats than what was asked for, but we paid for the extra performance on that. So finish it, receive payment.
If you're left with unanswered questions about any part of the game at this point, please let us know. We want to improve this introduction as much as possible. Thank you for using the Starship Corporation tutorial. You can exit the tutorial to continue to the current game.
Okay, right. So, exit tutorial, yep, okay. Okay, so that's the entire tutorial. We've gone through all parts except for right. Where's the tutorial? Back to main. Right. Yeah, so we've done everything except for one final stage in crew management, which was related to combat mechanics and things. And honestly, the crew management thing is interesting, but it's also really clunky as well. So I think automating that would be the best idea, really. So, we've spent like an hour and a half on this, roughly, working this out. And I think... Yeah, I think we can definitely do something with this. The only time it felt really clunky was literally just in the mission rating and testing. Other than that, it's actually been fairly smooth. So, you know, ignoring the actual testing and direct crew control side of it, I don't think this game really deserves its feedback on being clunky. Not really. I mean, sure, you've got to learn where everything is, but there's a lot of stuff. So, of course, there's going to be some problems finding everything. Especially as you tech up and you get more and more and more stuff. But, yeah, clunky, not especially so. So, I'm going to call this video here. I'm going to try and get this rendered for today, but I think this is going to be this week's mini-series. So, yes, you can expect a further 4 parts on this, because I'm looking at the time of recording. Honestly, this thing has taken as much time as an entire mini-series would take in terms of outputted content for the channel. So this is like stream length content, really, as far as my stuff goes. So you get this one, and you'll get 4 parts, starting off in a sandbox and starting to try and play the game. Now that we actually have a vague idea of what we're doing, unfortunately it's the middle of the day, so I will not be able to render this to come out today, being Monday, since I've just dated when I was able to get around to doing this, because my computer would not be able to render this video before midnight. And it would also tie the computer up completely as well and stop me from doing anything else. So, yeah, this particular one's going to be delayed, but it's going to come out tomorrow along with the rest of the first part of the rest of the mini-series as well. So, yeah. We could have spent an entire mini-series just doing the tutorial, but I wanted to do the tutorial so I knew what I was doing before getting started, because just watching someone play through the tutorial is not the best thing. Not usually, but yeah. I plowed through the entire tutorial in about an hour and a half, and that was with some missteps and confusion along the way. So maybe an hour 20 is all you need to go through the entire tutorial. Hour 20, hour 30-ish. But that's not too bad. It'll definitely teach you how to use the game. So there is that too. So the tutorial succeeds in that respect. But enough waffling. This has been Iron Mark 3. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching me going through the tutorial and learning about how to use this game. But if this was not your thing, then of course you won't reach this stage because this video will be clearly marked as being just a tutorial. So yeah, if you wanted just to see general gameplay, that would be the other 4 parts of this miniseries. Yeah. See you all later.